One of the biggest mistakes fashion designers make is expecting their first tool or mock-up to be perfect. They expect perfect fit, perfect balance, perfect shape, perfect execution. And when this doesn't happen, they panic. They think the pattern is wrong, they think the design is bad, or worse, they think they are the problem. But that is not what the first tool is for, because your first tool is not for perfection. It's for answers, and it's there to show you what the garment is doing, what it's not doing, and what needs to change before you can move forward. And once you understand that, you stop fearing the twirl stage and start using it like a professional. The first big shift is this: a beginner uses the first twirl as a judgment metric. A professional, on the other hand, uses the first twirl as evidence for what's to come. And that is the difference. Because the first twirl is not the final garment, it's the first real conversation between the body, the pattern, the design idea, and the fabric behavior. And that conversation is rarely silent. The twirl will tell you things. It may tell you, this seam placement is wrong. This volume is too much. This shaping is fighting the body. The neckline does not sit properly. This design needs more support. Or this silhouette is not reading the way you imagined. And that is not bad news. It's useful news. So what is the first tool actually for? It is for testing, not polishing, not proving anything. Proper testing. You are testing overall fit, silhouette accuracy, proportion, balance on the body, seam placement, shaping logic, volume control, support needs, movement, and whether the design behaves the way you intended. And that is a lot, honestly, I can't lie, which is exactly why the first tool should not be treated like a final result. Its job is to expose problems early while they are still cheap, fixable, and informative. That is what makes the twirl stage so powerful. It's a lot, I know, but it can't be skipped. When you make your first twirl, do not just ask yourself, do I like it? That's too vague a question. Instead, ask more useful questions. Look for signals. Look for where the garment pulls, where it collapses, where it gapes, where the grain is disturbed, where the silhouette looks weaker than expected, where proportions feel off, where the garment twists, where support is missing, where style lines are not sitting where they should, and where the volume is uncontrolled. Because every one of these things is valuable information on how to proceed. A wrinkle is not just a wrinkle. A gape is not just a gape. A collapsing neckline is not just something to be disappointed in yourself about. These are all answers. They are showing you where your design, pattern, body, or fabric assumptions need correction. I like to personally think of the first tool as giving 4 categories of answers. Number 1, fit answers. Does the garment actually fit the body properly? Is there enough room? Too much room? Is the shaping in the correct place, or are the balance points correct? Number 2, design answers. Is the design reading the way you imagined? Does the silhouette still feel strong? Does the volume still feel elegant or excessive? Do the proportions still work on a real body? Number 3, structural answers. Does the design need more support than you expected? Does it need stabilization? Does it need more control? Maybe a stronger fabric or an internal support system? Number 4, construction answers. Can this actually be built cleanly? Is the seam order realistic? Can the shape be sewn well? Is a certain detail making construction harder without improving the design? These are the kinds of answers the first tool gives. And once you start reading it this way, you stop feeling discouraged by imperfection. Now let's make this much more practical. Example 1. You make a fitted bodice tool and the neckline gapes. That tool is giving you an answer. It may be telling you the shaping is wrong, your contouring is not accurate, the neckline needs stabilization, or the fabric behavior is not supporting the design. Example 2. You make a sculpted hip dress, but the hip flares out instead of looking structured. That wall is giving you an answer to. Maybe the fullness is in the wrong place, the fabric is too soft, the hip needs more internal control, or the proportion is too large for the garment's balance. Example 3. You make an asymmetrical draped blouse, and the drapes look amazing on paper, but not as full as you want them to be. Again, this is an answer. It may be telling you the slash and spread volume is not wide enough. The style lines maybe needs redirection, or the fabric behavior and design idea are not aligned. This is why the toile matters so much. Now let's talk about what the first toile is not for. It's not for perfect finishing. It is not for beautiful presentation. It is not for emotional validation, and it is not the stage where you should judge the entire design or yourself unfairly. Because if your first toile is made in plain fabric, unfinished, pinned, adjusted, and marked up, that is normal. Its purpose is not beauty. Its purpose is to give you clarity. So do not reject a design too early just because the first toile is awkward. And also do not become too confident too early just because the first toile looks decent from one angle. The first toile should make you ask better questions that will make your designs successful on the long run. Professionals do not just try on a toile and react emotionally. They observe it, they mark it, they interpret, then they revise what needs to change. That process matters significantly. They ask, what exactly is happening here? Where is it happening? Why is it happening? And what kind of correction does this require? Then they go back and then they adjust. They adjust the pattern, the seam, the shaping, the support, the proportion, or even the design itself. So the toile is not a dead end. It is a decision-making tool. So the real win of the first toile is not that it looks perfect. The real win is that it tells you something true, something useful, something you could not fully have known from the sketch or the flat pattern alone. That truth helps you make the garment better. And that is why the first toile is one of the most valuable stages in the entire design process. Not because it proves you are good, but because it gives you answers you can actually use. If this helped you rethink your whole design process, download my free design decoding guide. It's linked in the description box below. And if you want to go deeper into the decision-making process behind turning a design into a walkable pattern, join the waitlist for my upcoming Design to Pattern program. That's also in the description box down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!